Okay, what we're doing today is we're going to work on the tractor. We had a hydraulic line, the main hydraulic line, that came down, and I'll show you all this in a minute. It came down and it used to leak like drip, 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 which was bad enough. We were planning on fixing it anyway. I pulled it in after bush hogging the other day and it was more like drip, 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 drip. Okay, time to fix the tractor now. So that's what we're working on. We spent a couple hours with a rep and on the website of, I think it was Hydraulic One. Hydraulic One.
Shout out to them.
Yep. And they helped us figure out the parts we needed. And I'll show you in a minute why it was a debacle, because it wasn't as simple as just buy the same thing you had. We went to the local place first because I like to buy local in a small town area. They were no help. They didn't have what we needed. They couldn't order what we needed. So we had to go elsewhere. But now let me show you what it is that we started with and what we've got, and then we'll put it on and see if it works. Randy here has what we started out with. This end came off the pump, and it's a 3/4 inch line, and it went down this far, and they put a reducer on it, and then a quick connect going to a 3/8 hose here, which then came up, and I'll show you where it went from and where it went to. Here's the pump up here, and it hooks on right here on the back side of this. You can't see it, but right there. And it hung down here, went underneath that for some reason, and then came up, and the quick connect was like right about here. And then it comes up here to the remote, which goes to the bucket. And then there's a line that comes off the remote here that goes down, and that goes to the back end hydraulics. So hopefully this will help with the rear end drift and completely eliminate the front end drift. We still have another leak down underneath there somewhere, which is probably a connector on this hose where it goes into the back end. I don't know. We haven't crawled underneath there to look at it yet. But anyway, this is going to take the main leak away from the tractor, because the remote used to leak, but it just needed the fittings tightened, and we did that a long time ago. So we're going to take and put the new hose on from there up to here, and we shortened the hose because part of the problem was where the hose hung down here. When I turn this tire this way, the inside, this part of the tire here, and we can show you on the big hose. Where'd that big hose go? I'll show you here on the big hose right there. It was rubbing into the hose, but that's not what the problem was. That's where it was leaking on the end. And for some unknown reason, instead of putting a banjo fitting that screws into the compression fitting, this is all one piece. And we couldn't find anybody that had that. But what they had at Hydraulic One was a banjo fitting by itself. And then we got a reducer that goes on that down to 3/8. And then the 3/8 hose to go from that up to the remote. And we shortened it by 6 inches because it was way too long. So now we can just put this all together. Is that a compression fitting? It won't need it won't need any tape on it. Okay. So there's that.
Now we've got one complete hose.
Yep, there's one complete hose. That should do the whole thingy. And then we got the rest of the banjo fitting down here and the crush washers. Goes through the banjo fitting into the pump.
We have a second crush washer, one on each side.
And hopefully they'll crush down smooth, because we only got one new one. The old one, I don't think it was the crush washer that was leaking. And if anybody's wondering, this is a Terraplane TD38. And if you're wondering, what on earth is a Terraplane tractor? Where did you get a Terraplane tractor? Well, I'm going to come over here, move these mowers real quick. and see if I can't answer that question for you. As you lift the hood on the breather, it says Dongfeng Tractor Corporation, DF354. That also did me no good in finding parts and pieces, because we had to replace the water pump on this, and that was a chore finding a water pump. I paid somebody to put it on. It looked like more than I wanted to deal with, but there is where I found the actual information for it. And if you look carefully, that's in Chinese for the most part. Dongfeng Tractor Corporation. Where does that sound like it's located? Yeah. This is actually, this particular tractor was made between 2001 and 2004, so it's not really that old of a tractor. More than likely, this is the original rubber. More than likely. Well, look how easy that's going.
I'm going to thread this under this pipe. Come around here.
Is there any way to back it up a little bit, get it closer to the motor?
There may be here. Let me see.
I was just saying, when I turn that tire, it might still rub against that where it's set, where it's sticking out like that.
Maybe I get behind here. Quite possibly.
We could always go under this thing here, and then it would point straight down instead of out to the front.
Well, let's see if we get a good.
I'm afraid where that's at, it's still going to get caught on that tire when I make a turn. Yeah, just go under that big rod there that holds the bucket. Yeah, down under there. See if that helps. And still inside that. It still sticks out, don't it?
Still does. But if I get this all together here like this, swing it forward, it will bring it in some. Hoping.
Well, being a smaller pipe, if that one gets caught on the tire, it might just rip it in half. But they just put that in a bad spot. I'm going to say maybe like that, where it swings all the way forward, it'll be far enough back, it'll stay out of the way.
If I get it around behind underneath here, I think it'll be a better thing. Let's try that first before we do any tightening. We'll get it all hand put together first. Do a trial fit on everything.
Yeah, I think that back there would be out of the way. Far enough back that the tire couldn't possibly hit it.
That's what I'm hoping.
Oh, the other hose was 6 inches longer, so it had a bigger loop up there.
Yeah. We shortened it by 6 inches. It's making it really difficult to get attached here.
Let's figure it out and we'll show them what we did when we're done. Okay, I think we came up with a configuration that works. Where it's at up there in the front should easily clear the tire. You can see where the hose goes through there. It should clear the tire when it turns this back as far as the solid hoses are, and it's never hit them. And then we looped it down underneath there, brought it around the outside so it doesn't get caught on the brake pedal, and up to here. So that's going to take away the biggest leak we have in the hydraulic system. I'm anxious to see how well that works. It should work great. Now, like I said, we have one more small leak underneath there somewhere. Get it fixed one of these days and maybe the back end won't drift. There's a 3-point hitch. You raise it up and you can watch it drop. In 30 seconds, it'll go from all the way up to back down on the ground. So it leaks pretty good. Hopefully it's just the leakage in the pipe that was causing it, and not something inside the mechanism that's a problem. I would imagine that they have a one-way valve in there somewhere. It's possible it's worn. Well, so far there's no leaks. That's an improvement in and of itself. See anything? Well, let's move the bucket a little bit. Let's see if it made a difference on the back end. Still drifting pretty good. You can just kind of watch it drop. I don't know, it might be going down a little slower. It's still going down. There's one up under there too. It ain't doing it now, but I saw it the other day. It don't leak near as bad under there though. So that repair worked. One more thing down. Hopefully it's the last thing for a while. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. We're so close to being monetized we can taste it. Well, we just took it out for a test drive. Ran great, no leaks. But the front and the back still drift a little bit for some reason. We'll have to figure that part out later, but at least it isn't leaking fluid where I can see it leaking anyhow. So that's good. One thing down, 1,000 to go. It's just the way it is. Thanks for watching.